up here, not me for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Ooh, up here, not me for sure. I'm here alone on my birthday. Yes, I am an absentee. You can't count on me. I got places I need to be. Namely on my couch, super glued right now. But it's really urgent. I really need to check in. And I got my best friend next to me. She's all I need, undivided loyalty.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. This is the information man here. Peace, everybody. All right, I'm going to stop that right there. We're going to get into it. I got my man Lions Den in the back. I'm going to put him on the screen with me, and hopefully everything will be everything. We can get this working just nice and fine and dandy. Welcome to another Information Man TV, but we got my main man here, Lions Den. Lions Den, say what's up to everybody out there. Peace to you, brother, by the way.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Hey, Info, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, man. We were having a conversation before we went on live about why is Periscope going away, and then you had made mention about the fact that Twitter is going to start investing in creating a platform within Twitter, such as Twitter Space, which is like Clubhouse, and then they're going to make it easier for you to be, I guess, broadcast into Twitter, which we can actually do that on Haps right now. So we're going to see how the world of streaming, how it evolves. But really, what I wanted to talk to you about is today we had, this was another day of the Derek Chauvin trial. I wanted to ask you some questions because it looks like the defense team for Derek Chauvin are trying to paint the people out there as an angry mob. I think the one brother who's a mixed martial arts fighter, who was the one out there who said he had training himself at the academy. I think he called the police bums because they tried to make him the angry black man in court today. And this is the playbook that they're going to use. Let's make the crowd, let's discredit the people who witnessed what happened by, let's call them the angry crowd. Let's call the black man who spoke up an angry black man. Let's call him angry and out of control. Because you notice the defense team kept saying, were you angry? How'd you feel? So they want to create this ideology and this atmosphere that the crowd was so viciously a mob that Derek Chauvin, this idiot, and the rest of his cohorts in this killing of George Floyd, that somehow it was the angry mob outside. It was the distraction of them telling him to take his knee off his neck that caused them to take this man's life. That's some of the bovine excrement that they're throwing up here, Lion's Den. So when we look at this picture right here, and we see George Floyd, and look how he's got his knee on his neck, as we spoke of before. And they want to tell you that the crowd made him apply extra pressure. I mean, that's at least what it sounds like to me, almost like they're trying to say. What do you think is going on? The defense team is trying to make the witnesses out to be the angry mob trying to take down Frankenstein. What are your thoughts?
Info, I'm just basically concerned
there you go. You were muted a little bit. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very concerned about this trial because ever since they do the jury pool, and I'm just going to tell y'all the jury pool itself, it's really total of 12 jurors, 2 alternates. Now you got 3 black men, 2 are immigrants. You got a black woman. You got two white men. You got two multiracial women,
Tell
and
the
and you
truth.
got six white
Mm-hmm.
women in the jury pool. Six, I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
predominantly white women in the jury pool. And then you got defense attorney Derek Chauvin, who basically is introducing evidence, making it look like um um make it look like George Floyd has a drug problem. So when you put all this into that evidence, and then the judge going to allow that into evidence, and then judge going to allow all the stuff in, and the key witnesses in this trial that's witnessed what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd, and they're not going to allow, the judge not going to allow that into as a witness, and then they're not going to even let Derek Chauvin's past, who he did the same thing to a 14-year-old child, that same technique like he did with George Floyd to a 14-year-old child, and then the judge wanted not to be admissible in court. This is not good info, and this to me it points to Derek Chauvin's favor, and not allow not allow the prosecution to bring this
Well,
evidence in there.
well, a lot of the commentary that I heard online, CNN, MSNBC, a lot of the usual suspects on the alphabet channels, they felt that the defense team is making an argument that isn't going to fly.
Mm.
Even with the young lady that was I think she was a medical tech or something like that, and then she eventually became a member of the fire department. And you
Yeah,
saw the judge try to tell her not to get smart with the lawyer, which I think was a bunch of bull crap, if you ask me, because they were trying
yeah,
to slip her up. Okay, now they're trying to. I think they're going to try to scratch her testimony out of the trial because they're trying to say that she was a little inconsistent between what she said in court and what she said in her written statement. But the truth of the
right,
matter cannot be denied. This is a young lady who said when she got on the scene, because she was off duty and she identified who she was, that she wanted to help and that they weren't listening when she was giving her professional certified advice on what was happening. Remember, the other day I went live on here because I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to follow the trial tomorrow. I went live the other day or two ago and I said, if they thought that George Floyd, they kept saying when I went live on Monday, the defense team was saying that the police, when they encountered George Floyd, that they noticed that he swallowed something. The indication of that is that he took drugs. And I'm asking myself, if you know you got a man that took something, that he's got drugs in his system, why didn't you reach out to get medical attention or get the ambulance there as soon as possible? Because if he swallowed a drug, he could go under this arrest if you're like roughing him up like they were. Okay.
right.
And she says, this is crucial. She said that they didn't seem to care about getting him the medical attention that he needed until the ambulance finally got there. And by that time, she said, they were trying to act like they were acting like they wanted him to get some attention. But she said at that time, she could tell he was already dead.
Yeah, yeah. And then what really breaks my heart is when George Floyd was dying, he called for his mother. Now remember, his mother's been dead for years. And when you call your
Right.
mother's name, I already knew right then and there he's gone. Because I mean, ain't no way in the world that you can't survive after that. And info, I did another story similar to the George Floyd case in Mississippi, with a domestic violence case when the brother's girlfriend at that time called the police, and seems that he was hallucinating and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So instead, when the Jackson, Mississippi police decided, I mean, Jackson, instead of them taking to the hospital or call the ambulance, he dragged his brother into a squat car and had seizures, and he passed away in their custody. So it seems to me that these police officers, and I agree with what you were saying about the witness that was saying they didn't care about George Floyd's health, because if they did, no matter what happens, they would have taken him to the hospital at least George Floyd's life would have been saved. But unfortunately, the cops don't give a damn about George Floyd. And you can see from the video, everybody saw the video, how Derek Chauvin put his knee in the back of his neck. And it is the MMA style. It's the MMA style move.
Tell the truth.
I mean, you can literally couldn't even breathe or lose oxygen when how Derek Chauvin used his knee. So this is the key witness, and I'm telling you like this. Again, info. I got a feeling that the judge is going to side it with Derek Chauvin, and I just got a bad feeling about this in this case. I'm just being honest.
Well, no. Let's think here. This is a jury trial, so I don't think Lyons Den that the judge has the final say. It's up to right now. And this is what we got to be thinking about. After these, let's see, you had Monday testimony, and this was the second day, and tomorrow's the third day. You got to be saying to yourself, what's going through the mind of that jury pool, the jury? What are they talking about? What are they deliberating over? What are they agreeing with on the defense side and the prosecution side? I'm wondering what's going through their head. Now, most legal experts are saying that the defense team is not making a compelling argument by trying to make the witnesses out to be a mob or be bad guys, right?
Yeah.
And even the brother that was doing the mixed martial art, the brother that was standing out there with the black hoodie on, who said, "What are you guys doing? You guys are not following protocol. You guys are bums. Well, you think you're tough. You guys are bums." They tried this because this brother called them bums and did all those things. They're trying to act like he was like just so demonstrative when the whole time he was on the curb. Check this out. This shows you how our society is. I'm sorry, folks. Race always plays a factor. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, because it's the damn truth. Remember, there was a white woman who walked over with her cell phone and talked to Peter, the one officer who I think he was he was Asian, that was standing up telling everyone, "Hey, back off," and nobody was really coming at them like that. There was one white lady who walked up, and she was the one that was told to go back over to the curb to the sidewalk. Right. The brother never went that close see, race plays a role in everything, ladies and gentlemen. The black man who they tried to make out to be the angry black man today, he didn't go all the way over there and get into the space of the officer, but you had the white lady who was also very angry about what they were doing, who got into the space of the officer or came over a little bit closer to talk to him, and he told her to back off.
Right.
And so I'm curious to see if the defense team is going to be as demonstrative towards that young lady when she's called as a witness. I think she might be a witness tomorrow. I want to see if they're going to make her out to be the angry white lady as they did with the black man who never even got into the space of the officers. You see the double standards and how the legal system works. The defense team is pushing this narrative of making him the angry black man when he was the main one out of many people out there who made his voice known, made his presence known that what they were doing was wrong. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then you had children who, of course, they couldn't show the kids because you don't want people following those kids, berating those kids, whatever. You have now this is the thing I know about kids. Being that I had a daughter, I've been around kids, I've worked with kids. Kids are usually honest to a goddamn fault of their own. They're very honest in a lot of ways when they're that young. They see something that affects them, they'll say it just like it is. And sometimes you may not like it because it's the goddamn truth.
Tell the truth.
Right.
And this is what they also said, Lyons, and this is why you got to also have some hope. You got to have some hope that maybe things will turn out. We know that in these cases, a lot of times things don't go our way. But they said yet today that they've never seen a trial where all the witnesses across the board, including the kids, were all on the same page and they all were consistent in the things that they said.
Tell the truth.
Now, we got some guests that have come into our chat room here on Haps. Let's greet them and see who we have here. We've got Clinton, Nyla Clinton, who's one of my biggest supporters. She's made me an administrator on her groups on Facebook. Thank you. She's been Clinton has been supporting me heavily, and I really appreciate. We got Ted Hicks, who came in the house. I appreciate him supporting me last night on my stream about Lil Nas X. Lil Nas, who, my God, man, we're living in a world that you can do anything to make a buck, anything. But let's stay on topic here. And then we've got my man Mike Hatton, who's come in the house, who is a journalist, he's a journalist and talks about sports. This brother is dynamic as well, Lions Den. I think you should subscribe to his channel whenever you get a chance. But and thank you again, Ted Hicks. Everybody who's listening, thank you. So, Lions Den, let me let you take over now. So give me your honest thoughts. You heard me run off at the mouth about what we witnessed in the trial today. I'm curious to see if they're going to be demonstrative towards the female who actually stepped into the police and talked to them with her cell phone on. We did see how they treated the young lady who was a medical tech, who is a fireman now. They were a little nasty towards her too, but I'm just curious to see how this is all going to pan out. Go right ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this too. To see if the witness who that white woman you were referring to see if they're going to do that same thing they did with the brother today. I'm gonna tell you straight up, and I think that the crucial witness is the white lady because she's also witnessed the entire thing of what happened with George Floyd. So this is going to be and you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible, but only time will tell what happens. So anything, it's like a baseball game when when you're on the bottom of the ninth, anything goes. If someone hits a home run late, so just like this trial, I think that the defense attorneys will have their way one time, but I guarantee you that multiple witnesses will come forward and say no, that Derek Chauvin did kill George Floyd, and he used that mixed martial arts move. Put a knee in the back of his neck, which to in other law enforcement officers are illegal to use. So yeah, we're gonna wait and see what's gonna happen tomorrow. Info, can you hear me? Info, can you hear me? Info. Info, can you hear me? Let me go back.
Testing. All right, come on back in. So anyway, once again, I'm seeing Lions Den's coming back in. Okay. All right, this is what's happening, Lions Den. For some reason, the audio, and I know it's not my equipment. I know that for a fact.
Right.
But this is the same problem I had on Monday. I'm talking, my audio cuts off. Then I got to go back into the settings, disconnect my audio setting, and then reconnect it. And so it happened again. It's frustrating because we need this something like audio it's gotta flow. It's got to flow. But we're gonna keep working through it. It's in the beta stage, and when things are in the beta stage, you are going to have a few bumps along the way. But I gotta admit, it is frustrating because I'm used to doing YouTube, and I'm used to stuff being smooth, like smooth. You know what I'm saying? Smooth
Right.
transitions. I'm used to that, so that's why it gets frustrating when sounds cutting off. This is cutting off, and that's only because, unlike YouTube, Haps is in the beta stage, so it's still developing, it's still growing, and I think last time I was on, I think Pablo came on with me on Monday, or came on with us before, and he told us something to do. I just reconnect. So if this happens again, Lions Den, it's because my mic disconnected in the system, and I got to go in and reconnect it. The equipment I got is top-notch equipment, so I know it ain't my equipment. But these are the growing pains when you are a part of something new like this. So that's okay. Haps will get better with time. Now, go ahead, Lions Den. You were about to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say that, only time will tell. I hope that, with this additional witness that comes in tomorrow, that, is going to change the scenery within the jury and everything. But only time will tell. So hopefully things will be working out. And I just hope that, more witnesses who saw the entire thing will come forward and tell the truth that, that George Floyd wasn't on
Tell
drugs.
the truth.
He was murdered by the knee in the back of his neck. And so hopefully things will turn around. I believe it will.
Now, let me ask let me ask you this, because this was the position that the defense team they spoke of on Monday. They said that George Floyd had drugs in his system, that they saw him put something in his mouth, even though we'd never heard them say that on video that we've been able to see as bystanders to this whole thing. I haven't heard any video or seen anything where they got him on video, or do I remember hearing even on video the officer saying, "Hey, what did you put in your mouth?" Now, of course, we didn't see everything, but this is my point. If they're able to make a compelling argument and prove that this man actually had drugs in his system or dropped some drugs in his system, do you think that would have sway with the jury when it comes to, like, how did he actually die? Was it the knee or was it the drugs? Because that's really what the defense team wants us to focus on.
Yeah, I think what's happening, and even though, let's just say hypothetically, that drugs did cause George Floyd to die, it's up to the police department to basically call the ambulance to get him help. Unfortunately, they didn't even do that, and so you have, even if he does have drugs in his system, and I'm just going to tell, that's what I do in my shows, all the time. What does this have to do with him? Put him on the ground, face down. Now remember, if he info, if he was really on drugs that bad, why would the police even put him on the ground like that? If he was on drugs or overdose,
Well,
they go ahead, info.
well, if he had an overdose, he probably would have been unconscious before they got their hands on him. I don't know. This is the thing. We got to be correcting what we're saying here. Basically, what happened was their argument for the reason why he ended up on the ground is that when they were trying to put George Floyd in the squad car, right on that corner next to that nasty store, Cup Foods, which I would say nobody, especially if you're black, nobody should be supporting that store, because they're the ones that made this is the thing that gets lost in this. Let me just say this, Lions Den. What gets lost in this situation is that people forget that this whole thing happened because it was the Cuff store who originally called the police on George Floyd because they thought that he gave them a counterfeit $20 bill. And we don't even know if the man knew that he gave them a counterfeit bill, because any of us can have a counterfeit bill in our wallet and not know that we were slipped a counterfeit bill at a store or somewhere that we've gone with the way money rotates, right? Mm-hmm. So what gets lost in this stuff is that this was a man that they knew of. He was known in the community in terms of that store. And if had they never called the police and just tried to talk to Floyd, that's my thing. What made them? See, this is what gets lost again. What happened in the store that caused them to call the police on George Floyd in the first place?
Yeah.
Because we haven't heard any reports of him being rough in the store. We didn't hear anything about him stealing something from the store or breaking something or cussing them out or threatening them. So what was it that made them, other than the $20, okay, the $20 bill made them, that would be the argument, that it's a $20 bill that made them call the police. But was it that serious to call the police on the man a man that had frequented the store other times? George Floyd was not an unknown commodity, an unknown individual to the people who ran the damn store. And check this out. Do you remember on the video, there was a scene on the video where one of the guys who I think was related to the family, I mean, either the son or someone, came out of the store and had the damn nerve to try to talk to the police and explain, right? And you had the brother who was on trial, who was on the stand today, who they tried to make him out to be the angry black man. He told the guy from the store, I don't know this guy's name, so bear with me. But if you remember this, he told him, get out of here, because he tried to intervene in the situation after he was the damn one that called the police. And you could tell that the brother was angry at him and said, man, we don't need your 2 cents. Don't come over here and try to act like you concerned about the brother now after you didn't call the cops on him over some alleged false counterfeit $20 bill. And now you want to come on over here and act like you the good store clerk now, right?
Yeah.
So that brother told him kind of like, hey, man, you be cool. He kind of told him to go back in the store and be quiet, right? See, because he knew that they know that they were wrong for calling them police. And because of that guilt, that's why they were more than willing to let them put the flowers out there, put the mirror on the back of their wall, and the whole 9 yards. Now, check this out. This is why that store this is why particularly black people that live there should not patronize that store. Because remember, Lions Den, people were out there putting flowers, they were praying, they were coming to the scene, all that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And the people who own the store were getting to a point where they were starting to get an attitude because they were angry because they kind of wanted people to start leaving now, right?
Yeah.
And they were talking about there's trash outside and all this kind of stuff, right? So the people that own that store, they got to a point where they were sick of the George Floyd memorial, that they wanted people to sort of, okay, it's time for y'all to leave now, right? They were getting kind of tired of it. I don't know if you remember hearing about that. This is why nobody should support that damn nasty store. See, on the Information Man TV, I'm not only going to talk about these issues, we're going to go into these issues. Go ahead, Lions Den. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry about it. I was kind of wondering that the person that owned that store. Yeah, I was saying the person that owned that store. I think he's from. I don't know. He's from any Islamic country or something like that. The dude that owned the store, and so I
think so.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they're he the son or the nephew. Well, anyway, and the brother was right. I mean, he up there called the police on George Floyd over a counterfeit bill, which we really don't know if that money's counterfeit or not. And then now he wants to intervene. Go ahead, Info.
No, I was just gonna say, okay, this is the deal. Let me break this. Let me say this right now. On the Information Man program, you're not only going to get the story, but you're going to get the internal insight of this story. Okay, check this out. I had somebody contact me a long time ago, Lions Den, that lived in that area. Somebody that's on YouTube, and they didn't, and I was trying to get them to go live with me about this, what I'm about to tell you. But the person didn't. The person didn't feel that comfortable with doing so. But the person sent me an email and said, "Look, I live in this area." And he said that there's a lot of counterfeit bills that have been running through a lot of those stores in that area where George Floyd was at. And he said that what they didn't tell you in this story is that it wasn't that George Floyd purposely gave them a counterfeit bill, but actually George Floyd was given a counterfeit bill because there was counterfeit bills floating around them stores in that area. So the argument is that George
Wow.
Floyd might have gotten a counterfeit bill unbeknownst to him, and therefore when he went to Cup's store and pulled out the $20 bill, George Floyd had no idea that he actually might have given them a counterfeit bill because he was slipped a counterfeit bill. So what I was told, I
Wow.
talked to I talked to a few people in the back chat who contacted me by email, people that I talked to who lived out there, who had been out there, and they said that there was fishy things going on with currency within that particular area. Okay? I'm going to leave it right there because I don't have 100% proof, but guess what? The people that talked to me about, it was a brother that talked to me that lived there at the time that that was happening, and he knew of George Floyd. He told me that's some of the stuff that's been going on. Now that's just you can call it innuendo, you can call it conspiracy theory, whatever. There's something going on. Now, let me touch on this. I want to get your thoughts, Lions Den, on the fact that the defense team tried to they tried to paint this neighborhood as such a bad neighborhood that was such dangerous neighborhood that you had a mob of people out there. They made it difficult for the cops to do their job as it related to George Floyd, and maybe they possibly contribute to Derek Chauvin's doing what he did. They were trying to paint the picture that this was a bad neighborhood, a high crime neighborhood, and then you had the medical tech who they interviewed, the young lady who now is a fireman, who said that she lived a few blocks from the area where it happened on the day that she was going to the store. And I think she was, walking around and enjoying her day. And
Right.
I think that the prosecution, the cross-examination of the prosecution said to her, is it a bad neighborhood? I mean, it was painted as this really bad neighborhood. And she said, look, it's like any other neighborhood. Every neighborhood's going to have its good parts and its bad parts. But that's not what she said. I'm not quoting her verbatim, but you could tell that this whole notion about it being a bad neighborhood, super bad. Okay, it probably was not the best part of town, but it wasn't, you could tell that it wasn't what they were making it out to be, because the people that were out there telling the cops, hey, you're killing the man, they weren't bad people. They were decent people. They gave a damn. They cared.
Right.
And so what you had today in the trial was them trying to ghettoize the neighborhood. Oh, it's a dangerous neighborhood. This is the ghetto. It's a ghetto neighborhood with dangerous people like George Floyd, who probably deserve to be choked out, right? They want to paint that type of ideology. Then, because the neighborhood is bad, they want to paint the ideology that the people on the corner who told the cops, what the hell are you doing? They must be bad too, because the neighborhood is bad. So if the neighborhood is bad, they're bad. Therefore, these witnesses ain't shit. You can't listen to them because they live in a no shit neighborhood and they are no shit people. And the black man who was telling them, what the hell are you doing, was the angry black man. You get my analysis here?
Yeah, I do. What and you're right. I think what the defense is trying to paint the narrative that the neighborhood that incident happened, like you said, that it's a bad neighborhood, it's a rough neighborhood, they try to sway the jury of reasonable doubt that why would the incident happen with George Floyd, and the neighborhood that it was staying in is really a rough neighborhood. It paints stereotype of what the neighborhood's like, but realistically, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if that neighborhood is rough or a good neighborhood. That doesn't change the fact of what happened with George Floyd. So,
Look.
again, info. It's like they can say this is a rough neighborhood or anything like that, but at the end of the day, that doesn't change anything. The question is, did you or did you not put your knee in George Floyd's neck? That's the
Right.
question. George Floyd is on trial here. Derek Chauvin is.
Right. Let me say peace to Fly Seas. She's coming in the house. She follows my channel as well as your channel. Great to see you here. Great to see you here. Peace. And thank you for your support last night on the YouTube channel. And everybody out there, if you have not, you need to go over to the Information Man Show and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I get real raw over there. Information Man Show. And Lions Den remind people of where they can find you on YouTube as well, because you have a YouTube channel. Go ahead and do that, brother.
Yeah, y'all can check me out on YouTube at Lions Den, aka Trey X, for all the news and commentary. I'm gonna bring all the rawness on my news and commentary on my channel as well. So y'all.
All right, Lions Den, repeat that because it seemed like you were a little bit of borging, a little bit of cutting out. Repeat that again so people can hear it correctly. It's not your fault. It's just streaming. These things happen when you stream sometimes. Go right ahead, brother. Lions Den.
Okay, no problem.
Go ahead and repeat your channel again, brother.
Y'all can check me out. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead, brother. Give your channel name again.
Lions Den, aka Trey X.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that people get that so they can support you.
It's Lions Den, aka Trey X.
Okay. There must be a little bit of delay between me talking to you or something, because anyway, let's just move forward. Lions Den, I appreciate you. Anything else that you want to add to the as before we get to conclusion? Anything else you want to add, brother?
Yeah, my final thoughts on this is that watch the witnesses tomorrow on this case. I think this white lady, like you were saying, this white lady will be giving her the perspective, and she was the one who used her cell phone, showing that, and this is going to be a key witness into this case. So I want you guys to be on the lookout with that.
Okay. Something else I wanted to say to you. This is the thing that caught me off guard a little. Well, it didn't catch me off guard, but it was something that I was thinking about, Lions Den. And that is the fact that they already gave a $27 million payout to the family. And we know that sometimes when they give payouts, that is a sign that, they're not going to prosecute the police officer. So, however, I think at the rate that things are going in this trial, I just personally don't think that the jury is buying what they're saying, but who knows? I don't personally think that the arguments that the defense team is trying to make is actually based in reality of truth. I think they're grasping at straws. And there are already people out there that are saying that, we may be looking at a police officer. There's only been maybe 2 or 3 police officers, I think 2, that have actually been found guilty in this country we call America for murder. Maybe 3, but I think it's only 2 or maybe 3. Probably 3, if even that. And we may be looking at Derek Chauvin could be looking at getting the murder, because the judge did leave that on the table. Although I don't think it's going to happen, because they don't often give police officers that type of sentence, because when you talk about murder, the prosecution has to prove that Derek Chauvin had intent and will and decided that, yeah, I'm going to kill this man today. That he woke up thinking that I'm going to kill me, a black man, today. Now, does that happen in this country? Yes, it does. Right. But how can the prosecution prove that without a doubt, this is why I don't think he may get sentenced to murder, because of him being a police officer? They're going to give him the benefit of the doubt by saying, well, he's a police officer. He only came in contact with George because of him being an officer and George being accused of a $20 bill fraud bill. So that's why he encountered George. But then they want to say that George was rough with them. George took some drugs, all of that. And George wasn't rough. You can see on the video when you go back and look at it that George was very concerned about, hey, officer, I don't want to get shot. Don't shoot me, officer. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. Remember, he was very scared. He had his head on the steering wheel. He said, don't shoot, officer. Don't shoot, officer. What did I do? What did I do? So he was a gentle giant at that particular time when those officers pulled the guns on him.
Right.
So I don't know, Lionston. This whole thing is crazy. We're going to see tomorrow. I'm going to be watching this. I might go live tomorrow and broadcast the trial and give my commentary as the trial goes on tomorrow in the morning. I may possibly do that. So, Lionston, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. We'll do it again, my brother. Thank you for joining me tonight. And you have a great rest of your week. Folks, we'll be doing this next week again at the same time. Lionston, you take care of yourself, brother. I really appreciate you being here. Peace to you, brother. You're the best, Lionston. Thank you. All right, everybody. That's take care, my man. Thank you, my brother, my dear brother there. So that's it, folks. That's the end of the show. Wasn't going to be too long tonight. You take care of yourself and keep your eyes on the trial. Read everything, examine everything. But most importantly, you got to look at everything with a critical mind. Critical thinking is very important. You have to look at everything upside down, examine what you're hearing, examine what you're seeing before you make the best assessment as to what you believe is going on. Critical thinking is a must. With that said, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here, and you take care, everybody. You take care. I hope everybody is doing well out there. Peace to you.
Information is power.
Peace.
Information is power.
You are listening to
Information is power. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Information is power.